Oh man, intros are always one of the effing hardest. And I better not swear because I want this video to legitimately reach out to as many of you as possible. It's been a fucking distracting day, man, but bear with me. I'm really trying to make this video. Yeah, this is... It's a tough one. But I'm not just gonna cut bits and bobs. I'll leave the authentic bits in. Honestly, struggling with the introduction, man. But it's cut up in such a way that I want to emphasize that this is not particularly easy for me to talk about. So I think with what I'm going to say right now and speak about in general is going to resonate with quite a lot of you. It's at some point in your life going to have played a segment, a portion, a role in your life and your emotions and the way you feel currently about women, and it's going to affect future relationships. It's going to impact your current relationships, and I really want you to listen now and take this on board and see just how much, because I know a certain portion of it, no matter who you are, is going to resonate with you. So have you met someone recently? It doesn't matter where you met them from. You could have met them in person when you were out at the local bar. You got a girl's phone number. You met them on a dating app. You had a chit chat and you got their phone number. The point is, you met someone, and by met I mean you didn't just communicate one or two messages with one another and you ended up catching up for a quick coffee. I mean, you met them and you ended up engaging in what you potentially sought after was a fruitful relationship. So I don't think I've heard too many YouTubers talk about it, but that there can become a major distraction in a man's life in itself. You met someone, and this doesn't pertain, and I don't want to hear the fucking coaching advice. Quite frankly, I don't even care if I swear. I don't want to hear the alpha male advice that you shouldn't simp or bow down. And hear me out. You have shown affection, mutual bonding like connection and emotions towards this woman. You have been authentic with whatever the fuck you are. I don't give a flying shit if you wear a patch on your back, if you did X, Y, and Z, if you've served time in prison, if you've killed people and done your time. Whatever the repercussions that you faced them. My point is, you've opened up candidly about that when you've engaged in this potential relationship, and you've had some kind of buckle go, man, holy shit, I'm spending way too much time on this. And I've lost my root, my sense of self and my purpose, my direction. Where the fuck is it that I'm heading? I know that sounds all too familiar with you guys, but a lot of YouTubers will put cuts in and they'll intersect things. They'll make it out like they know how to deal with it, and not a lot of people will speak about this, that women can make you lose your sense of direction. And that is going to be the topic of this video. So I'm going to propose a pretty candid, I don't even give a shit about cutting that because I misspoke, but it's a candid question. Do you just want to sleep with this chick? Is that what you want? Is that what it's all about? You just want a quick pump and dump. You want the interaction. You want the experience that you're thinking with your little head as opposed to your big head. What is it about what it is that you are pursuing? Whether it be on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, You're exchanging text messages at this point. Maybe you've had even 1 or 2 dates. You're somewhere around that sort of realm where you're figuring it out, as people would say. Have you actually ascertained and asked yourself the question, what it is that I ultimately want? Because I reckon a lot of you motherfuckers that are pursuing women long term, seriously, you actually do want long term and you want them seriously. Otherwise, it really is just the pump and dump. A common theme that we see on guys pursuing women on dating apps is a theme of the conversation simply fizzling out. It doesn't really lead to anything. Maybe it does lead to that initial date, but after that, you just don't have the what people would generally label as the spark. Does that sound familiar? Now, if you haven't had the spark, I want to actually bring back the onus and put it back on you. If there was no spark, maybe it really was something that you didn't engage in. Maybe it was something that you ultimately didn't ignite within her. Because when it comes to male and female dynamics, it ultimately is up to you. And by you, I mean the man, to steer the interaction, to steer the relationship, to drive the conversation forward. Whether the conversation goes for 60, 90, 120 minutes plus, that's not determined by her. And the words she formulates, the sentences that she strikes with you, the topics that she engages with you in. That's all dictated by you and what it is that you have in here, and you can formulate out here on toward her. That said, I think quite a lot of you motherfuckers just simply don't know what it is that you have to say. You follow some kind of guidelines. Conversations fizzle out because I've noticed time and time again there's some kind of static grid rule as to how you should talk to women. And none of you want to be your genuine, authentic self, with whatever that may be. I'm talking to you, motherfucker. I'm talking to you, the gamer. I'm talking to you, the World of Warcraft lover, the video editor, the photography enthusiast, perhaps the male model that actually does lack self-esteem, because I have actually met those men too. The guy that wants to step out and people will look at him on the side and think, what the fuck is wrong with him? Why does he have self-esteem issues? He's the world's his oyster. So if you don't know, you don't know. And this video is going to be for you. But this video is going to be for you, for me to encourage you to not lose focus on your primary objective. And this is a rather selfish video. But the selfishness of it comes with looking out for yourself, which quite a lot of men... I honestly have not seen a single YouTube video that tells you to pump the brakes. Right now, you're watching this scene in real time. You pump the brakes, take a step back, and think to yourself, man, I have lost my center a wee bit just there. I have become too keen, attached, driven, but driven by, what is it? The potential sexual encounter, the potential establishment of the relationship, the potential of locking this chick down. All that is false. My brothers, my friends, people that are heeding my message, you have to look at yourself first and foremost at all times. I'm not saying every now and then, even when you are in a relationship, even when you are married. Because that can culminate into the fact that your wife, your girlfriend, your partner, she'll lose respect for you if you so much as start pedestalizing her and blowing up her value. Pretty much kissing her ass, to bluntly put it. A lot of you guys, and I have experienced a segment of this, which is the reason I've made this video, is that you find yourself in a kind of scenario where you're somewhat pedestalizing women. You're elevating and inflating not only their ego, but their value beyond what it actually is. And you're putting yourself in second place. You take the back seat and then you try and gain the approval and affection of this particular person. So the ultimatum of this entire video is that you aren't going to have a successful relationship with a woman unless you are candidly honest with who you are as a person, and you are driven by whatever it is, the mechanism that you have that drives you forward. Is it your pursuit of building, making furniture, playing a certain sport, performing with some kind of instrument? What is it that forms the basis of your identity? Who are you as a man? Something that is quite often and extremely often not spoken about whatsoever so on any of these, we'll call them social media platforms. So who are you as a man? What's your idea? I'm not talking about your history. I said I don't give a flying shit, and not to say that that is invalidated, whatever your past may be, because it forms the basis of who you are in the present. But who you are right now in the present, what is it that defines you? That is the very first step of establishing a relationship. Talking to women endlessly about what they like and dislike, what their favorite and primary and secondary colors are, who their favorite artist is, what kind of tunes they like, what kind of books they've recently read. Whilst that can form some kind of basis for light-hearted conversation, you aren't going to get any of that deep needed substance to formulate something worth meaning. And for you to be able to do that, so for you to ultimately be able to have a good relationship moving forward, and this is even for you that think dating apps are a whole bunch of shit, that's why I encourage it. That's why I've even said in multiple videos in the past, make your dating profile authentically you, rather than trying to portray a certain angle that appeases a type of woman. Portray the angle of your genuine, authentic self. And if it's misread, if it's neglected, rejected, perceived as disingenuous, and you're trying to be someone that you're not, you know deep down, man, that's what being an alpha male is to me. That you know deep down that you don't fake a fuck. You're real. And if it doesn't work out, and if you get rejected, if you get pushed back, if someone doesn't align with you, doesn't agree with you, you aren't going to stoop, and you aren't going to play pretender. That's my key advice for you for the day, even though I've been absent for 2 weeks, is establish who the fuck are you? And what makes you, you. Live by it. And don't try and align with someone in particular.